Hi, my name is Ophi YouTube Videos. I am a feminist and a lesbian, and I've been struggling really hard with housing insecurity over the last few years. There are a lot of reasons for this. I'm disabled. The roommate gamble you take by filling a room with someone you don't know has backfired on me more than once now. I've lost multiple jobs due to being unable to hold down frequent and consistent work for anyone but myself. Have been struggling really hard against the algorithm for the past several months. And let's be honest, I have not picked the most easily marketable niche for myself by investing my time and energy into discussing things like misogynistic hate campaigns against women and feminist theory rather than advertiser friendly TikTok event of the month content. I mean, to be clear, to be 2 years into publishing videos on YouTube and be this close to supporting myself through it is incredible. It is, as I think I've said in several videos now, the coolest thing that has ever happened to me. To have a platform, to have an audience, to have people who care to listen when I have something to say. It is such an enormous gift. Making videos, participating in the discourse this way is something that I think I would continue doing in at least some form, even if it hadn't gotten me so much closer to some form of stability over these last 2 years than I was able to achieve without it. So I wanted to make this video to say thank you. A big, huge, really overwhelmed thank you. As you already know, if you have seen my community tab post, that housing insecurity I've been battling against has come back to bite me in a very real way. After managing to negotiate ourselves out of one eviction 2 years ago, our landlord is moving forward in an attempt to evict my roommates and I over around $1,000 of unpaid rent from last summer. One of my roommates got behind and has struggled to pay it back. There's a lot of other stuff going on with my housing situation as well, which I'll maybe discuss on the Patreon in further detail if it manages to resolve in the way that I'm hoping it might be able to. But currently, the whole eviction thing is the single most pressing issue in a life I am living where there are a lot of really pressing issues all the time. I have had to fundraise before, about 2 years ago, back when that roommate gamble backfired on me the first time, and a roommate abandoned my apartment and left us on the hook to pay down thousands of dollars of back rent to get the landlord to allow us to add another tenant for future portions of rent. And I felt a lot of guilt and shame about making that ask and about making this most recent ask. This is a poverty thing, so something I'm assuming a lot of my audience is intimately familiar with. It's a bit difficult to make this video and not be thinking about the people who I'm sure would like to reinforce my knee-jerk shame and hesitance to ask for help. People who would call me a grifter or speculate about my disability and ask each other why I don't simply get a real job, as if I wasn't fired from even the work from home job that I thought would be much more understanding about my frequent absences. But the truth is, as I am coming to learn and has been a hard realization, those people do not deserve my attention. They do not deserve to be able to rile me up into preemptive self-defense and over-explanation. And as those of you who aren't weird and hateful little freaks have proved to me overwhelmingly over this past weekend, the weird and hateful little freaks do not deserve to be able to get in my head enough to convince me to cut myself off from the people who do genuinely want to help me. I launched a GoFundMe on Saturday, January 2nd, with an explanation of what's been going on and why the landlord is on our case. And I expected to have a really similar experience to what I did with my first fundraiser. That people would be really generous and it would be extremely helpful, but also that it would be extremely effortful and likely take a few weeks, if not a few months, for any real traction to be found with my fundraiser. But that is not what happened. That's not what happened at all. I launched the GoFundMe, I explained the situation, and I posted a community tab post where I showed exactly how much I have been struggling against the algorithm for the last several months. That despite the 45 videos I made and uploaded pretty consistently across 2025, my YouTube AdSense has plummeted from making me around 600 or 700 a month to just a few hundred. And then on top of that, again, as you know, if you've seen the community tab posts, my plans to have a very content-loaded December were undercut by me catching a flu that has been taking me a very long time to recover from. So I asked for help, and you all showed up. You showed up for me in a way that has truly blown my mind. The fundraiser reached the $2,000 goal I set within just a few hours, and in the days since then, it has climbed by another 1,000. Money that will go toward helping me secure my housing and to try to get myself a bit more firmly on my feet than I have been in the last several months. It wasn't even just the GoFundMe either. Several of you heard my call to action and came and signed up for my Patreon, which is something that I appreciate so much. As is evidenced by the instability of the YouTube AdSense, Patreon is something that makes such a huge difference in my day to day and month to month, which every creator tells you and thanks you and says Patreon pays the bills. That's because it's true for all of us. It is so much more stable than anything YouTube will give us. I've got my own theories as to why my AdSense has taken such a plummet in recent months. There have been changes to the platform, for one, which have resulted in myself and all my friends being recommended videos with very few views, rather than videos by creators we're familiar with or that are similar to other things we might be interested in. YouTube has also made the subscriptions feed a bit harder to access, which means a lot of people who are subscribed and would like to see new videos being put out by their favorite creators just straight up are not seeing them. I've heard from people who know for a fact that they've had notifications turned on for me that they either haven't been getting them at all or that they double checked and saw that the notification settings had mysteriously been adjusted to custom, which I suspect is customized to not actually promote my videos. In an attempt to make that joke feel a little bit less self-pitying and back to just being observational comedy like I intended it to, this is what my back end looks like for the last year. You can really see that I started off strong and then dipped sometime around June or July and just have not come back from that, which is not a matter of me not uploading. I've still been uploading really consistently, but like, this is what my analytics look like. This is why I've felt like I've been hunted for sport for the last several months. Because of all of that, in the coming year, I am looking into trying some things to attempt to stabilize this whole YouTube as a job thing for myself, one of which is going to be getting into the practice of making a dedicated post on my Patreon at the free tier every time I upload. I heard another creator mention this as a more consistent way to alert their audience when they post a new video, because it essentially forces an email notification through Patreon rather than trusting that YouTube is showing my videos to the people who have already said they want to see them. So, if you're interested in supporting my channel and in making sure that you don't miss any videos, but you don't have any extra money to spare right now, which is, of course, completely understandable at this and any moment in time, you could maybe consider subscribing to the Patreon at the free tier just so that you see those when they're posted. I'm also attempting to hold myself to a bit more of a content plan in the coming year than I have over the last 2 years since I started. I work extremely odd hours given my disability and how many of my days are eaten up by needing to go and lay down and sleep for about 8 hours in the middle of them. And though I'm extremely proud of the videos I put out last year, I keep thinking that I might have been able to create them in ways that would be a bit less consistently stressful for me while I was working on them. I'm going to get into the content planning stuff a bit more for the paid tiers on Patreon as I work on it a bit more over the next few days and weeks. So if that's an angle to all of this that you're interested in, maybe sign up or think about doing that when you have the extra, and we'll see how it all goes. I maintain my commitment to not using cutesy algorithm speak replacement words like grape and broom. I'm not interested in changing the focus of my content to appeal more to algorithm gods, but I think it might be time that I experiment in upcoming videos with other methods of less intrusive self-censorship. I can make some promises to you right now. It will not be a reality TV show bleep or some other annoying sound effect, and it will not be cutesy word replacements. I'm just gonna mute out part of the word and see if that helps. But if that bothers you, that's another great reason to consider subscribing to the Patreon, because I will upload a version of the video without the muted no words over there for the paid tiers as well when I upload a new video. Working so hard on so many videos last year and having no idea how they would perform has been incredibly discouraging. Like, my video about Hillary Lane, the second story, which I spent multiple weeks on and then watched in real time as it was throttled by the algorithm and died in the water because it got flagged as 18 plus. That was discouraging as hell, if I'm being honest. But the thing that's been incredibly encouraging, even as my videos have floundered or have failed to be served to the rest of my audience as a whole, is how invested those of you who do watch my videos have been and have remained with them. I talked about all of this a bit in my last video of 2025 when I spoke about how much making YouTube videos has changed my life and my relationship with myself for the better, but I want to talk about it again in this video too. The audience and little community that I have managed to find for this channel has, since I started, since I was teaching myself how to edit videos by making info dumps about the Bechtel test or the Lizzie Bennett diaries, been so incredibly generous with their attention, with their thoughts, with the discussions that we get to have in my comment section. And of course, has also proven themselves to be so incredibly generous in a financial, tangible way as well, by coming through for me not only when I had a much smaller audience 2 years ago, but then again now with this most recent fundraiser. Despite the algorithm's best attempts at discouraging me, I remain so in love with the opportunity to get to do this as my job, and that is entirely down to the people in this audience I have managed to find. Thank you for being so kind and thoughtful and wonderful. Thank you for making a hard life and a hard job a lot easier to swallow, even when it isn't quite going my way. And it very much is not quite going my way lately, but to start my year by asking for help when I need it and getting it, not only from those of you who are able to donate financially, but to those of you who weren't, but who still stopped to tell me how much you appreciate the videos I make or the work I do here on this channel. It's so incredibly appreciated, and it reaffirms so much that this is not just the thing that I love to do, but a thing that I guess I'm actually also good at doing. And I hope to get even better at it in the next year and to grow my channel such that a fundraiser like this is purely the stuff of the past. Thank you. Thank you for being here to help me do that. I'm going to be linking 2 different playlists in the description below. One is just a full completionist route through every video I made in 2025. All 45 videos, no live streams or shorts. And there's a video with some longer videos that you might have missed that I think are really good, and also that tend to go out pretty far when they get reanimated into more sidebars and suggested videos. So checking those out and seeing if there's anything that you've missed or that you might want to rewatch is a really easy non-monetary way to support the channel. So is sharing my videos and just engaging with them the way that you already are, by watching and commenting and subscribing. I always forget to ask people to subscribe, but thank you to everybody who has. Patreon also got a much more unscripted version of this video, and also I'm about to update the graphic for the names for the next video, so if you're already a Patreon member and you're not here, please go comment on the post that I'm going to make on the Patreon to get updated names. There are probably tiers that need to be changed, names that might need to be updated. I'm going to be upgrading to a scroll like the fancy YouTubers do, so that's going to be a change in the coming year. Thank you also to my YouTube channel members and to everybody who has sent me super thanks or super chats or one-time donations on my coffee. I cannot tell you what a huge difference that makes for me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you. The next video is going to be about the gay hockey show. We're going to keep it pushing over here. I will see you soon. I love you very much. Thank you. Bye. Credits roll accomplished. It should be over there somewhere. It also occurred to me as I was editing this that I forgot to say I also linked the GoFundMe in the description, but you've probably already seen that by now. Okay, bye for real.